What up, YouTube? This is Breachlight Reactions. We got a special one for you today. We got Marcus Vick in the house, our Lord and Savior. One of the best
Thank you.
vocalists in the game right now. So
Oh
cool
no,
that you came
stop.
on, dude.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming on, dude. It's awesome to have you
Yeah,
here.
yeah, appreciate
Oh,
having you, man.
thank you.
Yeah, it's unreal.
We were just gonna ask you a couple questions about your history with music, where you started, where you're at now, all the stuff in between, good stuff. So I don't know personally. I don't know if they do either, but I knew you from Aviana firsthand.
Mhm.
Yep.
Were you in projects before that, or was that the first real kind of band you were a part of?
So I basically started out when I think I was 17 or 16 or something, with just a couple of friends playing, I don't know, deathcore covers. That's when I started out doing music. So I don't think I've ever started singing. I just started to scream.
Hmm.
Mm.
And we were just down by the youth center in the cellar in this small ass rehearsal space and just ripped out some covers. We didn't know anything about it. I mean, some of us were like good guitarists, but most of us were just purely amateur kids, and it was so much fun, like playing Chills Grin and Suicide Silence stuff, but also like
Yeah.
things like Volbeat and shit.
Oh
And
my
Oh yeah,
God,
for
Wow.
sure.
right?
yeah, and it was so much fun. But then we like after like a while, I think it was like a year or something, we were like, yeah, hey, let's write some songs and try to get on a couple of like smaller shows, because we have like communities where they set up small shows,
Hmm.
and we just joined that, and we started a band called Adriana Claims, and it's still on Spotify, so you can go listen to it. But it was,
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
check this out.
but it's pretty much like we did some kind of a My Chemical Romance, Crown the Empire, weird metalcore, post-hardcore thing. It
Nice.
was
Love
it
Sick.
it.
was it was so much fun, and I don't know. At the end of that, we were like, not all of us was so hyped for it, and I did a cover of Quantum Flux of Northlane and put it
Yeah,
on
of
YouTube,
course.
Mhm.
Hmm.
and a guy from Gothenburg reached out to me and said like, hey, we have a couple of songs and we want to make something of it, and you seem like a driven person and we want to test you out. So I did like an audition thing, basically just recorded myself on top of that, and they said yes, and we started making songs, and that was Aviana basically.
Yeah.
So we dropped the band to the public when I think we had a tour booked, the album was done, just ready to release, and a couple of music videos.
Hmm.
And that was the start of that. And it just flew off. It went so much better than we could have anticipated. And it started to feel like professionally somehow.
Yeah. So
We went,
okay. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, I'm just rambling on.
Oh yeah, you're good.
That's what we want.
I
So
was, yeah,
so
I was just about to say, like, uh, at the end of that, we started touring a little bit in Europe, and it went pretty well. Like we toured with, I think the last tour I did was with Crystal Lake,
oh sick.
kind of
Dope. Okay.
it was their first European tour, and we kind of set it up with our manager, because he knew those guys,
Mhm.
and it went pretty well. But that was the last tour I did with them, I think.
Nice. Very cool. So was the album Polarize, was that the first stuff you had made, or did you guys have like demos before that that just were unreleased that you guys started with?
They had written out a couple of demos, like instrumental ones, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had vocals on some of the songs that Sebastian, the bassist of Aviana, old bassist of Aviana, uh, were singing on. And it was pretty good.
Right.
uh, but they didn't release anything before that, so we just released the whole album. I think we released a couple of singles from the album, and then we released the album.
Very cool. It's a great album. Um, and then I have one more like big question just about Aviana and stuff. I think you
Yep.
guys obviously mostly toured in Europe. I don't know if you guys ever made it across to the States with Aviana.
Not the States, but after I left and Joel, the new singer, joined in, they went to Japan and
Oh,
played.
very cool.
Dope.
And so in Europe, is it pretty easy to book shows in all sorts of different countries and build a tour? Because I know in the States for bands that don't have much traction, it's definitely not the easiest just because everything's so spread out. A lot of the scenes aren't very big out here. So I just wanted to know, is it easier to kind of get some footing in Europe?
I mean, as a smaller band as Aviana was, we basically got in contact with like a booking manager from nowhere, and
Okay.
he was just setting up this small UK tour. So the first tour we did as Aviana was a headline tour, and we just went out. Like we just poured down our savings into it. We didn't make any money at all. We just
Yeah.
went back up a lot about it, and we did a UK tour. And some shows were like, I think it was like 20 people, and some shows, I think the biggest we had was like maybe 100 or something.
Yeah.
And it was, and we brought along our friends to. We did another headline tour right after that. We brought along a couple of friends from Sweden, a Swedish band called Vick the Dreamer, and so. But by then we met our manager, Christopher from High Five Management in Sweden, and
Yeah.
after that, it's like you can book a tour by yourself. It's not impossible. You just have to find the right people to talk to,
Right.
and it can be. I mean, you can go if you pour down some money into it. You can go out and tour if you want to. It doesn't matter how good you are as a band, as long as you know the mechanics of just playing shows and getting from show to show,
Right.
For sure.
basically. So I think in Europe, especially, just because there's a lot of different countries and different like what do you call it? They have their own ways basically of handling the touring stuff and the show stuff. It can be really hard to find the right people to book shows, but I feel like in metalcore especially, there's a big community, like a major community with amateur bands that
Yeah.
everyone knows everyone basically. So
Yeah.
as long as you get into that and you know someone in that area, you're always it's not impossible to get something. You can be like opening act for a very small band, but you're still gonna be able to play outside of your country.
Yeah. That's super
So
cool.
nothing's impossible.
Awesome. Well, cool.
That's how it is here too. All the local bands like know each other, riff off each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's a real tight knit group kind of out in central New Mexico. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's super cool friends with the band. But same thing, not a lot of people really leave Albuquerque with their music. A lot of people out here are just content with playing their local shows because it's just fun to do. That's what we like to do.
And it is kind of tough to get out of New Mexico. Just personal for us personally stuff like it's not as easy to like go to Colorado or Phoenix or somewhere in Texas, just because the distance is pretty big and like it's tough. There's too many people to talk to and try and get a hold of.
I feel like it's in the States it's more divided. Like there's a bigger gap between local bands and professional bands than there are.
Definitely.
So like in America, I feel like local bands usually see bigger bands as gods in a sense. Like they're impossible to reach.
Yeah, sure.
There's nothing in between. It's the same about the pay gap in the States. Like the poor is very poor and the rich are very rich. And there's like not a lot of in between.
Yeah.
But I feel like something that I've noticed with American bands is that they're very humble towards smaller bands. Like they're very, especially in metalcore, that it's not impossible to talk to a professional vocalist if you're a vocalist yourself, just trying to get a hold. Like, I mean, there's bands that I feel like, oh my God, this is like weird that he's writing to me personally. So and I'm very, very bad with famous people. I'll always get so fucking starstruck. It's crazy. I'm joking. Like there's a couple of people I met that I've looked up to for like a lot of years. And when I meet them, I can speak. Like I choke up entirely. And I feel like in America, it's just easier to meet those people in a way. Not for me personally. Like for me personally, even to Animate, the guys in my band know a lot of people that are way above us in the genre. But even when I meet them, I just choke up. It's so weird. I remember meeting Garrett from Silent Planet for the first time, and I was like, I couldn't even speak to him. And I didn't even listen to Silent Planet. I haven't gotten into the music yet, but I couldn't even speak to him anyway. It's so weird. And now we're kind of friends.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I feel like Garrick would be super intimidating. Just like
He's
his
so
energy.
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, his energy is crazy.
Hmm.
He's all over the place when you speak to him. It's so mind-blowingly nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
who
that's
are
super
other
cool.
people like that that you look up to
I
that have
mean,
inspired you?
most of the people that inspire me right now is just purely vocalists. I'm such a vocal nerd,
Hmm.
and it's not necessarily the biggest vocalists in the biggest bands, but the small gold coins in the smaller bands that actually stand out to me as a vocalist. Because I can hear when I listen to a vocalist, I can hear like, holy shit, how can he do that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those are like Andy Sisek, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love that dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I look up to him so much. And there's this guy called Eric Suarez. He plays in a band called Speech Patterns.
Mhm.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Do you know those guys?
I've
Yeah.
heard speech patterns. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I listen to like their old songs, I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
His range is kind of nuts. He's only gotten better too. The same with Andy Sizek from when he first started the first couple videos that he put out on YouTube to where he is now with the last couple songs that he's put out with Monuments, for the stuff that he was doing with Wander before that. He's grown so much. He's insane.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, so like speaking of growth, like when did you learn that you could sing as well as you can? Because you said you started out just screaming, so that's crazy to me.
Like I don't know. I went the hard way. I always felt like a guy who can like I do not have a singing voice whatsoever, but I kind of I don't know worked it very very hard, and I've sung a lot over the years. Now I've been doing it for I don't know how many years. It's starting to look like 10 years for me. I think it's more than 10 years soon.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
I mean, in the beginning, I just tried to sound like everyone else, just trying to do anything. But it wasn't until after after kind of mid through Aviana that I actually felt like, yeah, I think I got something going here that I can actually use professionally.
Oh
So
yeah.
and the last I think it's the last year I've been working my voice more than I've ever had.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we can tell.
gonna ask that. So on the new EP, there is growth there. Did you write these songs with the intention of trying to sing on them more, or is this something that you thought would fit better? Just kind of want to get your thought process on how you wrote it.
So we started to write music almost entirely after we released Graveview,
Mm-hmm.
and I started to feel like, hey, there's a couple of things that I want to learn. So I just poured my soul into and trying to learn like adding distortion to in a different way to clean vocals and stuff like that. And I kind of used it on a couple of demos with the guys, and they liked it. And so when we wrote "The Sun Sleeps," I used it on that in a sense, like on some small parts of it. And I just felt like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So after that, I've been working that very hard as of now, and it just I don't know, it's starting to get easier. Everything that I wanted to learn a year ago is easier now because I've worked
Yeah.
it so hard.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. I don't know how you do it because, like, just talking about the new EP too, like that song "As If It Never Was" literally has a little piece, or not even a little. It has a piece of all sorts of different styles. Like you have your soft singing at the first verse, and then you have your real nice belting with sometimes it's like real raspy but still nice and clean, and then you do highs, lows, everything in between.
Yeah,
So
there's
just
diversity in that song for sure. I
just
tried
to, it's
I tried to
crazy.
sing that. I tried to sing through that whole song a couple of times in the studio for like a couple of weeks ago, and it was so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. So I
Oh,
was
really?
very surprised with my growth in that sense.
That's
That's great.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
super cool.
'cause I was a little worried with some aspects of that song because it's like the chorus especially is more like it. You have this open notes with a big throat, open note
Mhm.
belting, and you
Mm-hmm.
have like kind of airy, breathy vocals, and then you have the belting with the rasp, and then you have like belting with the distortion on it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sections, and you have to balance that pretty well. But it all comes from the same foundation in my voice, basically. You just have to, I don't know, not push it too hard, because that's something I've been doing for like 6-7 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So is that something you, and I don't want to talk future too much, but is that something you want to kind of build towards with future Invent Animate albums, or are you just going to kind of see what happens with it, see what works best?
I'm trying to, with our future stuff, all of us, I think, are looking at it more artsy, trying to be more beautiful is not the right word maybe, but it's trying to be, I don't know, more, we want it to, like, clearly, you can clearly hear that it's more thought into the music than it's been. And I think we landed that pretty well with As If It Never Was.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say so.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely did.
What's the process of writing like your next album compared to writing Greyview? Like what has changed?
Graveview, we did a couple of demos. Even they've even did a couple of demos before I joined the band, and most of that album was written in the studio. And I think this time we will have more demos before entering the studio, and we're gonna work with some third party people, trying to master ourselves, trying to find stuff that we don't see in ourselves that people outside of the box will see within us. And I think the writing process now it's better because the guys have managed to, like, up their game with songwriting digitally at home.
Yeah.
And they're starting to just, there was a time, a couple, like, they just spit out songs that were bangers, all of them. So we have a lot of songs down
Yeah.
already.
You guys typically, you guys tend to do that. Just spit out bangers.
Yeah.
Nothing but bangers. So okay, so that's another good question for me anyway. When you guys write, so do you feel like almost a little more comfortable with it now? I know that they've all been together forever, but now that you've been a part of a full album and some touring with the guys, do you feel like it's a little bit easier to just, get comfortable and just work together to get some crazy stuff?
I think we're more on the same page now, because in the beginning there was just one page and it was theirs, and then I just tagged along and did everything they said, basically.
Mhm.
Because that's how you're supposed to do when you join a band. They didn't bring me in to just better them. They brought me in to basically fill an empty slot, kind of, and trying to see how that slot can grow in a
Mhm.
sense. But now we tend to use each other's abilities more, basically. So
Sure.
and they've grown a lot with songwriting now from the Greyview times, in my opinion, at least. But I feel like on Greyview we try to make room for vocals. Like, we try to, because I don't think they've thought about that as much as they do now. But now they make room for vocals even more. They're trying to use me as an instrument more than they've ever had. So that is nice for me. It's easier to write vocals to their stuff now, because usually they write an instrumental song and I write the vocals on top of that. But now it feels more like it's easier because there's more room to make wonders with the vocals on it.
Yeah, awesome.
That makes me excited.
I know.
Yeah, I'm
dude,
stoked for
excited.
it. So I've been kind of curious about the writing process. I mean, of course, with you living in Sweden and the rest of the guys living in States, how do you go about collaborating? Or do you set aside different times a year to meet up with one another, or is everything done virtually?
It's pretty much virtually right now, especially during COVID. And but it's been, I'm gonna go over there. We haven't decided when, but in a couple of months, to just write out songs together, just trying to go through our songs that we have now, trying to make them better, and maybe write a couple of new ones. We'll see. And then we're gonna have official studio time in the beginning of next year. That's how it looks right now. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but it's the plan. But working virtually with the guys has been, I don't know, it's I don't know, it's a virtual time
Yeah.
basically for
Yeah.
2021. It works
It's kind of normal
flawlessly
now.
basically. Yeah, the only thing that it sets us back with that process is the time difference of 7 hours.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that makes
I'd
sense.
see that. So with, of course, Animate just signed with UNFD. Did you work with Tragic Hero beforehand? Did you have a lot of experience with them during the writing of Graveview? Because I know you said they had a lot of songs written beforehand. What's kind of the difference from Tragic Hero moving to UNFD now?
I think Tragic Hero is Invent Animate has been on Tragic Hero for a long time, and I think and they've had their ups and downs with each other, but it's always worked out. But I feel like UNFT has, I feel like they give, I don't know how to say this, but it's perfect for our time as a band to join UNFT basically because they wanted us for who we are now, which is, I don't know, it feels nice.
Yeah,
While
sure.
Tragic Hero had us during evolvement. I don't know how to speak about this because never felt like I was on Tragic Hero. I didn't sign anything on Tragic Hero or anything, but I've signed on UNFT, and I don't know, the UNFT guys and girls they're amazing. They're so like they know how to handle us well because like we had a couple of record labels that was trying to, I don't know, sign with us, and we wanted to sign with all of them basically, but UNFD, they just brought everything to the table so much easier. I feel like they were easier to work with. There was never any question marks regarding that deal at all. It just felt like a smooth transition basically. But I think we'll always love Tragic Hero in a sense.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Right on.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Long
We're very
overdue.
excited for you guys,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
The album's going to be great. We're stoked for it.
Yeah, your sound on the new EP is so good.
The EP, I don't know how to see it, but the EP is still a concept piece in a sense. It's I don't know how the sound of the EP is going to reflect on the new album. It might be completely different than the EP, but I feel like the EP was like a learning curve for us.
Yeah.
It's like to give the mass something of a like a stone in our path forward to see, so people can see which way we're headed.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah,
with everything, all the aspects of the music and the feeling of the music, the emotion, kind of.
And the video.
But
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
video's
video.
crazy.
oh my
It's
god,
awesome.
first time I saw the video in a whole, it was like shit, because I filmed my green screen stuff in Sweden in the garage of my day job.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel sorry for John, my friend. He's a touring photographer and a videographer, and we mashed out those hours, made it like, I don't know. We worked hard for it. It was fun though, but we worked remotely with Chris Klump, who did the video. So he was always there in the back on like a FaceTime call, directing us, kind of.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's crazy. It turned out fantastic, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a weird process, but it worked out.
Yeah.
And the way they treated every art aspect of that video is insane. He's very good at what he does, and I think, I don't know, I don't want to. I'm kind of biased, but I think that's the best piece he's ever done. I'm very proud of him.
It's awesome.
I'll agree with you on that one.
I love too that it's just one video for the whole thing, because it all flows so nicely. You know,
It makes it really special.
It really does.
The fact that it's just one video for all three of those tracks is really cool.
It's not a smart move when it comes to marketing.
Nah.
It's like it takes down the viewing numbers a lot, having that kind of length in a video, but we're still proud of it, and it was exactly what we wanted to release.
Yeah.
So did you guys come up with the concept for it?
Yeah, mostly Trey, actually, our drummer.
Okay.
I think I wrote the majority of the lyrics to "The Sun Sleeps," but when he wrote the lyrics to As If It Never Was. We felt like, yeah, we want these to piece together, and we changed a couple of stuff in The Sun Sleeps to make it like a one piece thing, and it turned out very, very good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't have thought there were there were two writers on it, and everything flows super well. So
That's cool to hear.
yeah.
Yeah, it comes across very personal. Is that how,
Mm.
like when you write your lyrics, is that how most of your lyrics come out, like from personal experience, or what's your writing process
Yeah,
for lyrics?
yeah. It didn't always be like that, but now it's as further that I get into songwriting, especially lyrics, it gets more personal by the years. Because I'm getting older and stuff, more stuff happens, and you're starting to remember stuff that happened when you were younger that you kind of closed in a way
Hmm.
because of emotional maturity. So there's, I don't know, you feel like the longer you live, you're starting to run out of things to talk about, but you just it doesn't work that way. If you're trying to emotionally evolve, you always try to you're always gonna remember stuff that you haven't even reflected on in the past. So I feel like it's just the pile of things to talk about. It just grows by the day. So that's nice, but
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. Good insight.
So let's get into kind of a little outside eye now. Tell me, because 2021, there's been a lot of new music coming out this year, a lot of different bands kind of experimenting different things. What do you think is your favorite album that's been put out this year?
oh my god, this year has been amazing for music, especially for metalcore in my
It
perspective.
really has, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think hmm, one album that I listen to now is Sleep Token's new album because it's very, very unique.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're doing the reaction to that album like later today.
Yeah.
Like the song "Fall for Me" is on the
Mhm.
top of my like Spotify playlist that I listen to every day,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's just so fucking simple. It's just simple concept, and his dark, like full voice, and that with the vocoder thing is
Yeah.
just. I don't know. I saw the video and it was like I couldn't even. I remember like seeing the video for the first time, and I was like, "Holy shit! I have to blink," because I watched like without blinking. So
No,
it's
Oh
simple.
yeah.
it pulls you in for sure watching that video. It's really, really cool.
Yeah,
Very
but
haunting.
that's an album that I listen to right now. But one album that stands out to me is uh, The Plot in You, new
Mhm.
album.
Okay.
So good, yeah.
He's just a fucking vocal nerd, and Landon is the best of us. So
Yeah, he's crazy.
Len
Landon
has
is
always
Landon is
amazed me,
good.
man. The things that he can do and just the evolution that he's had in his voice and his songwriting as a whole is kind of nuts.
he's a fucking genius when it comes to vocals. Oh, I mean the songs in general, all the aspects, all the
Mhm.
small things. Because I feel like he's always out to shock people with his music, which
Mhm.
is kind of a typical metalcore thing, but does it on a totally different level. And it's just listening to that, like first listen to a Plot song. You're just gonna be like, what the fuck was that? And next time you listen to it, you're like, holy fuck, that's genius.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to describe
Yeah.
it.
I remember watching a studio video for I can't remember if it was Happiness and Self-Destruction or if it was Landon's solo album that he was doing then, but it was just a video of him just in a garage just throwing shit against walls right next to his microwave. He was throwing suitcases, he was throwing frying pans and shit.
Yeah. I got
Dude's-
I got hit so weirdly with the video with the kid thing. I can't remember which song, but I think it's a solo song from him. And there's just this there's so many ways he says fuck in that song, and the kid says fuck, and I'm like, what's happening? It's so genius.
dude's great. Dude's great for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, album we have Spirit Box, of course. Spirit
Yeah.
Box is
Mhm.
truly inspirational, especially when it comes to marketing. How they've come from nothing and just they're starting to take over the world.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the most
Basically.
impressive thing, yeah.
The
Basically.
vinyl charts for that album was insane, and it's just I don't know, very inspirational. But I don't know. I have to look it up. I can't remember which album came out this year. I feel like this year has been, I don't know, some say it's short, but I feel like this year has been going on for a couple of years now.
Between this year and last year, it feels like 10 years. So
Yeah.
I feel you.
Well, then what are some of your favorite albums of all time? Like that you just keep going back to?
Let's see.
Besides
Albums of
Grave
all
You.
time. Besides
Besides
Grave.
Grave You.
I never listen to Grave You anymore. But wait, okay. So hold on. I have this Spotify list called 2019, and I still fill it up with stuff. But I mean, Children of Fire with No Sleeper, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's a great
10
album.
out of 10.
The album Lost Forever, Lost Together with Architects changed me as a musician a lot. There was a time when I tried to mimic Sam Carter's voice, just the panic. It kind of started my journey with having emotional screams instead of badass screams. And I think there's a couple of, do you know the Swedish band Adept?
I know the name. I don't think I've heard them.
I don't think I've listened. I feel like I've heard the name though. It does sound familiar.
The gods in Swedish metalcore. They're the biggest ones, and they just the vocalist Robert, he changed me. Like he's the reason I started screaming, basically. But I mean, like favorite records of all time.
Really putting you on the spot here.
Oh, let's see. Albums that changed me the most. It's the Crown the Empire debut album. Changed me. I cannot listen to it today because I don't know, I don't like it anymore. But I remember it changed me so much in the way I perceive music. But there's always gonna be Horizons by Parkway Drive.
Yep.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
One of the best albums of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time.
And Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park.
Yes.
Yes.
Now you're speaking Tyler's language.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't remember. I think Dookie by Green Day.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so weird. I can't remember the names of albums, but there's this. Oh my god! Do you know All That Remains?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're the album with This Calling and Six and that album.
Fall of Ideals, I think.
Oh, yeah,
the album.
Yeah, that one's really good. But also an album that changed me was Discoveries by Northlane.
Yeah.
Singularity as well, definitely. But an album that I cannot stop listening to is the newest Slaves record, Two Better Days, because I think I don't remember his name, but the vocalist is he's so fucking unique, and it's pop vocals basically with a little bit of metalcore in there.
Oh, that was Matt McAndrew. I remember watching him on that TV show The Voice. This was like
I've seen
6 or 7 years ago. So yeah, no, when I was amazed when he joined the band because I thought he was just way too poppy for it. But he does it so well, man.
Yeah, I don't know. The songs are so good. I listen to it every day.
He does it really good.
I've been doing it since they released it. I listen to it always. But bands that amaze me right now, I don't know, Own Planet, their newer stuff. They're gonna take over the fucking world because they're so good. Like the evolution of their music is going upwards still, and they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, Terminal blew our minds. I don't know if you watched that reaction, but that song is insane.
Terminal was great. Terminal was great.
I'm your biggest fucking fan. You know that, right?
That's so cool, dude.
That's so cool.
That's why we love you, man.
I can't even get my wife to watch our videos. But Marcus does.
That's so cool. But yeah, I let it in. It took everything by Loath. Definitely, it's up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a good one too.
They've changed our genre.
Yeah.
Well, when they released that, they changed all of our like perspective on our genre, because I think the next albums that's gonna come out from like the bigger bands is gonna have some kind of touch by Loath on it. And I mean, Loath is still a massive pile of touch from other bands put together so well in a perfect like way. But they kind of made their own sound with all that stuff.
That's an album that took a while to grow on me. I had to listen. I had to listen to it consistently for like 6 months, but now that I can't stop now. Just listening to, really focusing on everything going on throughout the album is insane to me. So they have done a wonderful job. Wonderful job.
Yeah, because I don't know, it was the same for me. It took so much time because Two-Way Mirror is a song that kind of it's a little bit easier to let in, as they would say. But I think that song, I listened to only that song, and then I kind of started to discover the other songs on the album. And now there was a time a couple of months ago I only listened to Loath, always, nothing else. It was so, I don't know, I like it. It takes you on a journey, as I said. It's so good.
It does. The album as a whole is a real journey, and I recently found out that they did a split EP with the band Holding Absence.
Oh my god, I fucking love Holding Absence. Lucas,
thank you.
Jesus Christ, it's so good. He's so fucking talented as a vocalist. It's crazy, and I don't know. Like it's impossible not to fall in love with him because he's such a sweet guy. It's crazy.
Every interview I've seen with him, even the studio updates that I've seen with him, he just seems like a kid having like the time of his life. He's so wholesome. He's so cool.
And then it's better than everyone else in what it does. It's so much fun.
I've been trying to get these dudes hooked on them for a while.
What do you mean? I love Holding Absence.
Okay, well, it took some pushing for you to actually start listening to him. I don't think Tyler still likes him.
I think I listened to that. You told me to listen to the album, and then I just got stuck on Afterlife forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard that one song we reacted to. I got to listen to the rest of it because I really liked what I heard. Yeah, super.
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. You would.
Yeah, it has such a touch of emo to it. That
it definitely did. Yeah.
I'm such an emo kid still, like pop punk emo. It's crazy.
Dude, we all are. We know it's never gonna grow out of the phase.
No, never.
The lifestyle.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
So, do you have any favorites or anything outside of metalcore and stuff like that?
Like outside of rock, basically.
Outside of rock, yeah.
I mean, the first Volbeat record, of course.
Yeah.
And I really love Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
She's like, her and her brother they're geniuses as well. And I listened to, what is that album called? Have you heard Swan Dive? No, Off-Road Minivan. I mean, it's Tuck from Fit for King, his side project, the bassist.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They have a song called Vampire. It's so good. Like it's perfect. It's kind of surf sound. And then I love a band called Hockey Dad from Australia. They just play. There's a couple of surfer dudes just playing surf music. It's so good.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, but then I listen to everything basically.
Yeah.
I love deathcore, like Chelsea Grin.
Chelsea Grin.
Yeah.
We have Vildhjarta and Humanity's Last Breath as well, doing their heavy shit.
Yeah,
it's Buster. He's from Sweden. He mixed Aviana's album.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah.
So, completely forgot what I was going to say. Somebody else. I lost it.
That new Lorna Shore though.
Oh
that
my
new
God.
Lorna Shore.
So good.
Yeah, it's so like Lord of the Rings epic.
Yeah, it is.
For real.
That's a great comparison. It was a great comparison.
Yeah, they're like by a waterfall, like going, wow.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Gets you hyped.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, cool, man. No, I didn't, but I'll think of something else. So what do you do when you're not writing music, listening to music? What does Marcus Vick like to do as a whole?
I'm a huge like as of now I play a lot of Valorant,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
a big
okay.
Valorant
Cool.
guy.
Okay.
like a lot of Valorant. The
That's
guys, my
awesome.
friends got me hooked at it, and then they stopped playing, so I'm playing it by myself. But I love that, and I love just hanging out with my girlfriend, working. I'm a carpenter as well,
Oh,
like a
Oh
right on.
nice.
contractor.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I do that to stay alive while not doing music. And I'm basically in the studio every day, working my vocals, trying to better them, trying to become better. It's a hard path in that regard, but
Sure.
but yeah, that's basically it.
Do you play any other
Um,
instruments?
no, fuck no, I
No.
suck at playing instruments. I'm the worst. Like, there's not a vocalist in the world that's worse at playing other instruments than I do. I can comp myself with a guitar singing. I think I can play like 10 chords or something, 8 chords. I can get it to flow enough that I can sing to it. But other than that, I suck. I can play a little drums, a little piano, like a little bit of everything just because I write music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself as a good instrumentalist
No.
in
Okay.
any sense at all.
That's fair. That's fair.
Awesome.
Wait, so do you guys play music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tell me about it. I
Yeah.
want to know because I haven't heard you talk about it yet on your YouTube channel.
We haven't really talked about it much,
Oh
really.
yeah.
You should.
Yeah. So, Eric, Tyler, you guys
We
started it.
don't.
I'll leave
We
that to
don't.
you guys.
We don't really have like a band or anything, but
Yeah.
they come over to my place and like I got guitars and a mic, and then we just program drums around and stuff. We used
You guys
to.
live you guys live close to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
We,
close.
we
Hmm.
we all live 20 minutes from each other ish.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of nice, but yeah, we make some songs, but we don't. I mean, we never do anything with them.
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
we have like an album on YouTube.
what? For real?
Yeah.
We do. I
Yeah.
didn't know that either.
That's
Yes,
fucking
you do.
awesome.
Is the Endless Reaches album
Is
still
it
on
the
there?
Endless Reaches
Yeah,
one?
it's still on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Oh,
fun
I thought you
songs on
took that
one.
down.
No.
I knew it was on Apple Music for a while, but we ended up taking that one down. But yeah, but no, we'll just like every couple months something will hit Eric or Tyler or myself and like, hey, let's record for the weekend. We'll do it for a day, smash something out, and then it'll just kind of go like that for a while. Tyler and Eric, they played a lot together in high school. I met Eric a couple years afterwards, kind of just would jam since then, man.
That's fucking I mean, like playing the musicians that are actually happy are
Mhm.
the musicians that only do it for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
The
sure.
ones that are the most unhappy are the people who gave it everything and then they gave up, basically. There's always going to be the one looking back. But if you're still going to be in that same spot where you just do it to have fun, when you feel like it, just taking it smoothly, and I don't know, that's when it's the most fun. There's like no pressure at all.
Wise words.
Yeah. And I
I
really
love
liked I really liked playing shows and stuff because for me it was so much fun because I play guitar.
Yeah.
And for me I just like spinning and jumping and doing all that stupid shit.
That's awesome.
That's the most fun part for me.
Yeah, playing shows is that's I don't know. I feel like writing music can be fun sometimes, but I feel like it's only the reward, like having a finished product, that actually is humbling you.
Yeah.
But playing shows it's the reason we do it. I feel like, at least for me. Some
Yeah.
people do it for the writing process and being creative and stuff. But for me personally, I only do it for the shows. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, the shows are super fun. I love it.
Yeah, the best part is seeing people vibe to something you wrote. It's insane.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like reaction videos is it's for the artist basically, because reaction videos it's been around for a while, but I feel like now it's the time where bigger artists that actually look at the reaction of their own music and vibing with it, because I see a lot of smaller channels that kind of just go out the window, like their numbers pop up so high just because an artist that they've reacted to said something about them on Twitter or whatever.
Hmm.
It's so much fun watching all of those guys just having a blast, seeing
Yes.
music.
Especially last year when you couldn't tour at all, it was nice just seeing people probably react to your music like
Mhm.
on the internet and everything. It's probably why it took off so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of artists actually react to reactions and put that on YouTube. It's so much fun looking
Oh,
at it. Like
nice.
I looked at Ronnie Radke. He reacted to like a random ass dude reacting to his music, and he just laughed all the time. It was so much fun.
I'd be interested in seeing that.
That was
Yeah.
kind of the way to do it last year, man. When you couldn't tour, is you don't know how people are feeling about your music. You don't know how people are vibing to it. So yeah, I like watching the reaction just to see like how, because I don't like watching the channels that it's just very like cookie cutter, copy and paste. Like you're gonna get like a huge reaction out of the YouTuber every 5 seconds. Like just nobody does that when they're listening to music, man. Just vibe,
Yeah.
just
and
vibe, and try to enjoy it.
that's why I fucking like you guys, because you're just a couple of dudes doing what you love, and it's amazing. That's what got me hooked with you. It's crazy because, like, I can see like you guys sitting there vibing to the music, and then someone laughs out of nowhere, and it just gets me laughing, and I love it. Like the intro to the Aviana reaction video. I don't know for how long I laughed at that. It was so fucking stupid. I loved it.
Yeah.
You blame Tyler for that one, man. He has not once
I-
ever, unless me and Eric are doing the intro for the video, we'll never
Yeah,
know when the video is
the
going to
only
start.
time. He's like, all right, you can start now. Otherwise, it's like, are we doing this? It's like, oh, we started 5 minutes ago. Like, what do you mean?
That's when you get the most authentic conversation, you know? When they
That's
don't know
fair.
they're on camera.
It's pure gold.
Oh, it's fun. It's a good time, man. It's good.
Yeah.
We just got to deal with stupid YouTube won't let us put Linkin Park up anymore.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's sad that
YouTube does
they
not
keep
like
blocking
Linkin
us.
Park.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's I think it's the same with Metallica. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you do, seeing like when Metallica drops something or like re-releases something and someone does a reaction, it's up for like 5 minutes and then it disappears.
Sad.
Mhm.
It's real sad.
What was it?
Yeah.
1,000 Suns that you had to re-upload like 4 times?
Yeah, 5
Yeah.
times. I
Yeah.
just uploaded the Spirit Box album reaction and I didn't edit anything. I didn't take out any part of the song and it's still up. So that's
And-
cool.
So weird.
Okay,
I'm
leave it.
glad.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good album.
Like the artist itself, especially with us like metalcore artists, we love like people re-uploading stuff as long as they don't just upload the songs.
Yeah.
Like weirdly.
Right.
Of course,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
But
just
if
try
they
to
do
make money.
something with it, yeah, like covers and reactions and like even the people who does it upload it and put on Spanish lyrics to it. And we love
Never.
everything about that. Some people have done like I saw someone upload a song from Graveyard with 8-bit on it. So it was like an
Oh,
8-bit.
sick.
Oh,
Sick.
cool.
That's
That's awesome.
dope.
They have an 8-bit song of Luna that is amazing. Like
Oh,
it's
I
It's
feel
so
like I've
good.
heard 8-Bit Luna before.
so good. It's so good.
I gotta
We
check
love
that out. That's dope.
Yeah, we love that kind of stuff. It's so much fun. Just a lot of give us everything you have when it comes to content because we love watching it, but we don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys watching, man. It means a lot to know that you guys are enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It is
Yeah.
super cool.
Like the guy from Hollowfront commented on our Hollowfront video.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god.
Fuck no. Hollow
so
Front is
good.
very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very good. Is that wait? They're on UNFT, right? I
I'm
think
not
they
too
are.
sure, honestly.
Let's see.
Or are they on Sharptone?
I think they just got signed to Sharp Tone with their
No, dude,
last.
that Treading Water single came out on UNFT.
Did it? Oh, okay. Good for them, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love their music. They're very good. I think is it Hollow Front that's managed by Ryan Kirby from Fifth Floor King?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That makes
smart
sense.
move by Ryan, definitely, because they're gonna grow.
Those dudes are going big places.
Yeah.
They're going big places for sure.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
the single that came out before the Treading Water one features Ryan Kirby on
Mhm.
it also.
Oh, that's cool. Ryan is also a vocalist that I look up to a lot. He's also a genius when
Yeah,
it comes
he's-
to vocals.
Yeah. He's insane.
I feel like
It's nice.
he's doing it in the most healthy and sustainable way. And listening to that, knowing that my way of doing it is not healthy and sustainable, it just makes me inspired.
Well, yeah, you and him, you guys' lows are my favorite lows. Like your lows are
That's-
so sick, dude.
It's so fucking weird like people talking about my lows because I feel like I am nowhere near anyone else when it comes to lows.
No, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
Even
they're just so
even when I
unique,
hear
dude.
that's good, I guess, but I feel like I still have so much left to like go when it comes to that. I feel like the new singles are a big step when it comes to lows because I worked the lows before recording that a lot.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I still feel like I stepped into the shoes of the guy who had the nastiest lows in the genre because Ben English
Oh,
fucking
good old
lows is
Ben.
so.
Yeah,
Oh
his
my
lows were good.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I know, like, even when someone says, like, when I see a comment on Reddit or YouTube or whatever, and they say, "Oh, I miss Ben's lows," I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, me too, bro, me too." Personally, at all, I'm just like, "Yeah,
No,
definitely."
but there's a lot of people. There were a lot of diehard IA fans that got real upset when Ben left, but I think you tempered their expectations very well.
Well, that's good to hear, at least.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
Like
Yeah,
Animate was like my favorite band. Well, there's you guys still are, but
I'd say,
Good cover. Good cover.
when Ben left, I was like pretty devastated. I was like, no, dude, they can't stop. Please don't stop. And then you guys kept dropping those little sneak peeks or like little teasers, and
Yeah.
then finally when you got announced and Cloud Cascade came out, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was
So
sick,
good.
man. I think you fit in perfect too.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
It's
heard
fucking
rumors about
awesome.
it before, like rumors that you were coming over, and then when it was
Dude.
finally confirmed, we were like, oh, thank God.
They
There's no one
they
who could do it
figured it
better.
out. There was like one dude on Reddit who figured it out like as soon as the first little snippet of stuff came on. Like even when because I left Aviana before Ben left him and Animate, and between that, like those, there was like I think it was 2 or 3 months between.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop doing metalcore. I'm gonna stop doing like electronic pop punk Paris stuff. And I started doing that for a couple of months, and then I saw that Ben left. I'm like, maybe I should just reach out to the guys. And I remember seeing like, holy fuck, I have Caleb on Facebook, our bassist. I just wrote to him like, hey, let me do an audition. I'm gonna smash it. And I did that. They were like, yeah, it sounds good, but we still want to try out other people.
They
And
lied.
I was
Yeah, they lied.
fuck, I blew it. Yeah.
They said it in that Greyview. What was it called? Was it retrospective or something
Yeah.
like that?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
And they're like, we knew we were gonna do auditions, but then Marcus sent it before the auditions, and like we still did them, but like we knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing a couple of auditions that I felt like they were so much better than me. But in the end, I kind of did a second take on an audition, and I took a instrumental song called Soul Sleep from the album, and I did my own version, like lyrics and stuff on it. And I think that was the hook. I think that was the hook that kind of did it for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this electronic pop punk stuff you do you have any of it released or anything?
Unfortunately, no. I want to, but I'm a big electronic pop punk, no, electronic punk rock thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that
But
would love to hear it.
Oh yeah, man.
yeah, I want to play like I always wanted to play like speech patterns, Paris music, and when
Yeah.
I have downtime and I feel creative but not metal creative, I always try to get
Mhm.
some synth snippets out in the studio, trying to do something cool with it. But I haven't released anything about it. Might do in the future when I have time and energy.
Yeah, dude, man. I think
Yeah.
it'd be really cool.
That would be sweet. I always love listening to people's side stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, it kind of makes people look more human in a way, and it
Yeah.
makes you feel good personally.
Yeah, and it's also interesting usually because I feel like usually side projects are something very different from the main thing. So it's interesting to hear other people's or like those people's takes on different types of music because people are so talented. It's crazy.
It's so good, like seeing also because side projects from vocalists especially always have an aspect from their main band's thing,
Mhm.
but they go full on to it, like Landon Tour's stuff.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
like
Yeah.
and like oh my god, what's his name? The guy from Dayseeker.
Rory.
Rory.
Mhm.
His side project stuff is like I listen to it a lot. He's so talented. That's one of the vocalists that actually makes me look bad because he's so fucking good.
To be fair though, I don't think Rory's human.
No, he's not. He's fucking alien. I don't know how he does it.
Nah, dude.
It feels like he's flawless. Like, there's nothing wrong with his voice at all. At all. It's so
And he
good.
can do it live too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Dude's great. I have him on. He's literally the only subscription I have to Patreon, just because of when Night Therapy was coming out beforehand. His side project, he was putting out the instrumentals and releasing the songs early for it. But the different covers and stuff that he does on it, dude's insane. Dude's nuts.
I haven't seen. Does he have like? Is it like a pay thing where you pay and you get exclusive content?
Yeah, it's like $5 a month.
I
But
think we
he'll
talked about doing something like that with Animate, but we never did it.
I mean, it's really cool idea. He put just stuff out a week or two early for your subscribers or your patrons on Patreon. He just released instrumental version of one of Dayseeker's previous albums. There's a bunch of stuff on there.
That's cool.
I'd pay for events.
Yeah, while she sleeps,
Yeah,
does
Just
it?
saying.
Yeah, me too.
While she
Yeah.
sleeps does it as well. You're right.
Yeah, we have Keaton and Trey and Caleb as well. They have a stream on Twitch where they just write music and show exclusive stuff, and I don't know.
Oh,
There's a
that's
lot of behind the scenes stuff that's getting talked about there, and it's very nice for me to watch their streams as well because I don't get to see the guys that often.
Mhm.
And to see them talk about our music and talking to fans. And I usually chime in and in the chat and when they're streaming and people ask me stuff, and it's nice too because they have a little community. They have like hardcore Twitch fans on there, and it's very nice to see people react and people just tagging along. And I feel like they're a part of it somehow because we have very dedicated fans, like insanely dedicated fans, and it's so nice to see.
You got to figure out
That's
a cool
dope,
nickname
man.
for your fans.
Yeah, I don't, dude. Yeah, some people actually have that, right?
Yeah.
They have like
Yeah.
groups. Like a lot of people do cult. They call it a cult.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
It's like Sleep Token and all their fans just say worship on everything.
Yeah, they're the followers.
Oh yeah,
The
that's scary
followers.
though.
So
That's
creepy.
scary.
They're very culty.
Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. I know Paris has like a cult as well.
Oh yeah,
Paris cult.
Paris cult.
Yeah, and we have. Do you know the band Imminence from Sweden?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I think Stu
Their
should-
their following is like they're very, very dedicated. That's why they've reached the skies now. They're so much bigger than us, I feel like, and it's going so well. That's the most talented people I know in Sweden. They're so good.
Their videos to me are so cool. There's so much that goes into, and the production behind them is insane.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like where the fuck does they get all the money? Because I've never seen that much money in Sweden.
It's a lot, man. I think it was the Heaven in Hiding video. I think that whole thing was done in front of a green screen, and everything after just an After Effect. You have a big giant glowing ball in the sky. Dude's floating in the air on that. It was crazy.
Yeah, they're so talented, and the fact that Eddie plays the fucking violin is so, I don't know. It's just like, how the fuck can you be so talented? That's
Eddie's
crazy.
a man. He is a man.
Yeah, it's so good.
All right, man. Well, guys, do you have anything else for Marcus?
I don't think so, man.
I mean, yeah, no, this was just so awesome, dude. I'm
It's surreal.
really glad you wanted to come and hang out and do this. It was very cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Anytimes.
I know you were talking about earlier about how, being starstruck and all that, and I remember getting that message and I sent it to them. I was like, is this real life?
I'm not gonna lie. The very first video that you of ours that you commented on, I thought you were fake. I didn't think you were real Marcus Vick. I had to go back and just look through like other comments and I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is actually Marcus. This is dope.
No, I'm just a normal fucking nerd, just strolling through YouTube, finding fun stuff to see,
Hell
basically.
yeah, dude.
Very
Super
awesome,
cool.
dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. For a couple of weeks, I've been having, I haven't been in the studio so much. So there's been a lot of downtime, basically. Now that we moved, there's been a lot of with the moving and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't done music so much lately, like for a couple of weeks. And it's just been so much video game, playing a Valorant all day. And
Oh yeah.
Got to play Destiny,
Dope,
dude.
man.
I haven't played Destiny at all, like none.
We'll help you.
We'll help you.
That's good.
We'll start the grind today. Destiny's
Yeah.
a time sink. Don't do it. Just kidding.
Cool.
Well, cool, man. Thank you again so much. We really appreciate you coming on here, man.
Always. Just tell me when and I'll be here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
All the
awesome.
time.
Stoked,
No
dude.
time.
We'll get you on some reactions.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah.
I sent
Next
you a link
big-
to our album too, by the way.
Oh,
If you
I
wanna
want to see. I want to listen to it right away.
All right.
All right, well, who's doing the outro this time? It ain't me.
We don't have one.
Yeah, we don't have an outro.
Oh yeah,
so
Tyler just ends up.
Marcus can do the outro.
Did I do the outro?
Yeah.
Marcus,
Yes.
take us out, man.
All right. So that was the reaction from Tyler, Stu, and Eric,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and me. I forgot myself. And have a good day. Wear a condom. Like
Definitely.
and subscribe. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday.
Yes.
Awesome.
We're just gonna clip that and put that in every
Every
video.
video.
Yeah.
I think I took like 5 outros from 5 different YouTube channels and just put it in one.
That's how it's
Yeah.
done,
There you
dude.
go.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
cannot
man,
tell you how
well-
grateful we are, dude. So
Yeah, thank you so much, dude.
Unreal.
This was
Yeah.
awesome. This is so
Yeah.
cool.
If you need anything at all, just holler at me and I'll be there.
we definitely
You're
will.
dope, dude. Thank you.
I
man.
promise. I
We'll keep
promise.
pumping out the videos. Eric's gonna be throwing you some of the random demos that we do every now and then.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Sounds
Sick.
sweet. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you have a great rest of your evening, and thank you for spending the time.
Thank you for doing this so early so I wouldn't have to do it in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem,
absolutely.
man.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks for taking time out of your day, dude.
Yeah, and you guys have a nice day as well.
You too, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Later.
Bye. Bye.
Have you
Nobody
been to
comes
New
over.
Mexico since? Because I know Animate has played here before, but I think it might have been before you were part of the group.
Wait, New Mexico is to the west of Texas, right?
Just to the
Yes.
west, yeah.
Yeah, I've driven through New Mexico on the trilogy tour with Silent Planet.
Right.
Mhm.
It was a wasteland.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is. There's nothing out here, man.
I remember like when we kind of got into New Mexico, there was like a sign that gas up now because there's gonna be
It's
a
nothing.
long drive until the next one.
Yeah, it sounds right. Sounds right.
That's everywhere out here. There's just nothing for hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Yeah, we
all
drove
over the place.
we drove from Houston to Seattle for the first show, and it was like 34-hour drive or something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's far.
It was a weird way to start the tour, actually.
Yeah. The states are crazy because it's just so huge. Like going from one state to another takes forever.
Yeah, I mean, like one state is almost bigger than Sweden. to be
Yeah.
honest.
Mhm.
Basically, yeah.
You can fit like 3 of some of the European countries inside of Texas.
Oh yeah, Texas is fucking huge. It's insane.
Texas is stupid, man. It's so
Texas
it's just
is basically,
unnecessarily big.
yeah, it's basically I don't know, the place I've been the most in
Yeah.
the States because the guys are from Texas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
How much different is Texas compared to Sweden?
Oh, dude. Like, Sweden is like communist, liberal as hell, while Texas is
Oh,
so
yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah, completely different.
wild, wild west.